Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Welcome to the Blah, Blah, Blah podcast. Hey, everybody. How are you all doing? It's Marlene of the Marlene Saunders Show. I really do appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. I hope your Thursday is going well. We are almost to the weekend, everybody. Yeah, I'm very excited about it because the weather is going to be a um, good weather here in Florida. So I'm kind of looking forward to the weekend, getting some nice sunshine and getting out. But, anyways, let's get into talking about, this topic that I have today. I feel that it's a very important topic, one that I know I'm not the only one looking at the expenses that are happening to not just me, but it's impacting everyone. And that is, the prices, the cost of everything. Cost of everything has gone up. And every single time I go in anywhere, you go to either the gas station, you go to the store, you go to pick up, certain items, the price always goes up like 10, 15, 20 cents. Some things in the store have gone up dollars, not like a quarter. I mean, some items go up $3 or $4, and that's one item. And I just it's unbelievable how how the government, how anybody thinks that people could live. And I think that really, they don't really care about how we live, because they're living well, but the prices of everything is just unbelievable. So I just wanted to talk about some of these things because every single time I feel like I have to keep upping my budget, and you're getting less every single time that you have to do something. And one of them, I remember not that long ago. I'm not that old. I'm not ancient or anything, but I do remember when gas used to be under $1. I remember those days. I remember that's probably like 1990, 92 or 93. I think so. It was like 1993, somewhere around that I remember gas was like 94 cents. Yeah. And it's crazy now. In my area, Florida, gas right now is about $3 and a quarter. I've heard people in like California and even my uncle in the UK, gas there is between $5 to $7. And that's like, wow. I wouldn't even bother with, with driving, just park my car, I'll walk. It's time to get a bike. It's crazy. And I don't have it in my area, but I'm sure things like those who ride the bus, those who take the train, the metro, that cost has gone up. And, even you can't even really have fun like before. I remember when it was affordable to go to a hotel. I remember getting a hotel for like $75 not that long ago, maybe like 1997. A hotel room was like $75. Try that now. The same hotel room is like $375. It's just so exorbitant. The cost of not only, gas, you also have to think about, car, like even buying a car. I remember, not that long ago when a car probably cost you maybe $6,000, $7,000. Now that same car is like $25,000, and that's used. That's not even a new car. I just don't know how people are going to live. And I especially think about people who are low income, those in urban communities, those who live on fixed income. Not everybody has the capability to work, and these are people who are, low income. These they have disabilities, or they just don't have it. They're going through a lot of things in their life, and my heart really goes out to the people who are really struggling to make it. I think about people every day, the ones especially that don't have food to eat, that are struggling to even keep a roof over their head. It's wild. And I was just thinking, I was looking at my, local thing that tells you, like, new communities that open, like they keep putting up all of these high rise condos in my area. I don't know how it is in other states and other countries, but in my area, they just made some condos, and the price of those condos are 2,500 a month, up to $3,800. How can a person who is living on a regular salary afford that? But they really don't care. People don't care. They want the money, they want the rent, and you just have to. I'm finding that even myself, where I was able to have just a little bit of wiggle room to be able to have some fun, get some extra things. Now there is no extras. Now it's like you just have to basically force yourself to stay at home, eat at home, like eating out and all of those luxuries and all that fun stuff. That's something that maybe you can do once, maybe twice a year. Whereas before it would be like every week I was going through drive through. Can't do that anymore. It's just not affordable. And last week I went into the store and I was getting some groceries. And, I usually pick up a pack of salmon, I pick up a pack of chicken, some ribs, some beef, different things. And I went to reach for the pack of ground beef, and that pack of ground beef had went up $5. I wish that I had recorded like vlogs, because I usually do vlogs on my other channel. I wish I had vlogged the one from the week before. I was sure that that same pack of ground beef that I usually get for like $7 is at $12.95. I went like this to reach for it, pulled my hand back, like, not today. No, no. What is that, like an increase of like $5 just for one item? It's crazy. You're struggling to even have food to eat, but you're supposed to have all this money, work. It's just not balanced these days. It's not balanced. The things that you have to deal with, it's like you're trying your best to provide for yourself or to provide for your family, and you're just barely scraping by. How are you? You're supposed to have food to eat to be able to work. Uh, I just don't know what's going to happen in the future. I really don't. And the cost of utilities, that's something that, oh my goodness, I have something in my eye. Sorry about that. Um, I used to see my light bill. My light bill used to be, $65, not that long ago, maybe 2000 and maybe 2014, like $75. I opened up my bill, and it was $169. And I'm not doing anything different. I'm not doing anything extra. I haven't bought any extra, appliances, anything. Everything has just gotten so high. How are people supposed to make it and get through these, hard times? And don't even talk about the cost of insurance. Because I live in a home, and like the homeowners insurance, all the insurances that that you have to have, homeowners insurance, The property taxes, the everything has gone up. Life insurance, medical insurance, every insurance is going up 30, 40, $50. And I don't know. It's like and those are the things that you have to do. You have to have insurance in order to drive your car. You have to have, well, at least in my area of Florida, you have to have homeowners insurance because if something happens like a disaster, I don't want to be out of my house, not have homeowners insurance. Then the medical insurance, because you always have to plan and prepare for what is going to come next. I don't know. I don't know. I know that I'm not the only person who is struggling with thinking about the cost of living and paying bills, just trying to survive, the day to day, paying bills, taking care of your business, doing what you need to do. And it's like you just can't afford anything. I find that like all the time, the grocery basket gets smaller and smaller. Um, you have to work more and more hours, and it covers less and less. I really don't know what will be the next step. Will be the next step, and I find even for myself, I thinking I need to start going to like a food pantry. I need to start going to places like that because when you pay your taxes, you're paying into the system. And I never thought that I would be someone who would actually need something like a food pantry, going to a food pantry. But I guess I think I'm not the only one, because if people who are in a lower income bracket and they're in the need of food, much less I'm a person that I think that I probably am middle class person. No, I'm not a low income person, but I'm not rich. I'm not rich. I don't have a lot. But how are people supposed to continue to make it with these price surges, everything that is going on? Even the things like if you have children, the things for your kids is so expensive, and it's one thing, and every time you turn around, kids need newer clothing, sneakers, shoes, this, that. So much going on everywhere that it makes you feel so stressed out, so worried about how am I going to provide? How am I going to be able to take care of myself? How am I going to be able to handle this life? How am I going to deal with it? How can I endure, going on? So, I just wanted you guys to know that, you're not the only one going through it. I think about it every day, you know, even some things that I've had to do, starting to cut back on expenses, stopping the drive-through stuff, like I said. But, like before, I used to like go through Starbucks, go through, McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, all of the places, just grabbing food. I can't afford to do that anymore. I have to like, and if I do it, it has to be something where it's maybe once a month, maybe. And most of the time, it's not even that. It's not only good for our health, but you physically can't afford it. When I look and I see people buying fast food every day, I don't understand how people can afford it. I said, in this economy, with all of the things that's going on, I said, I'm going to be this small really soon. This small really soon, because I can't afford to eat. I can't even afford to eat. And don't even start talking about fresh fruit, because I love fruit. I don't know if you guys love fresh fruit, but the cost of fresh fruit is crazy. And I used to be a person who loved organic, but I can't afford organic anymore. Before organic, it was a little bit expensive, but now it's like it's not expensive. It's exorbitant. It's way far beyond what a person could ever afford and deal with. So I just have to, make sure that I stay on budget. Don't waste money, making sure I turn off the lights. I unplug things when I'm finished with it, and put on a sweater. Put on a sweater if it's colder instead of turning on the heat. And you know, putting on a sweater instead of putting on the heat, and taking off that sweater or jacket if it's hot, or turn on a fan. Can't even afford to turn on the AC like I used to, because I like to keep my home pretty cool, like around 74 degrees. That's my favorite temperature. But I have to keep upping that temperature, where now it has to be on 77, and I do feel warm, but I just gotta deal with it, because I cannot physically afford it. And just the other day, I was getting some laundry detergent, and I don't know what's going on with the cost of laundry detergent and also the cost of toilet paper. What is happening? I am not that old to be complaining about the cost of toilet paper, but I can remember when toilet paper was also under a dollar, 4 rolls for a dollar. Now that same 4 rolls of toilet paper is almost $3. And I don't know how you guys use toilet paper, but in my house, we go through that 4 pack of toilet paper every single week. Every week, got to buy that. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, at least $12 a month just for toilet paper. You can't continue to keep that up forever. Everybody's going to have to cut back, and I do understand the reason why a lot of parents and other people, they're going back to living together. Siblings, children are going back to live with their parents. Grandparents are moving in with their adult children. It's a lot. It's a lot of things that maybe before, where you wanted to have your own space, it's not even a thing that you even can choose that. You have to make sure that you know, get a roommate, or you have somebody move in, or you get together with your friends or somebody so that you can share the expenses, because there's no way that on one income, even on two incomes, it can be very tight. I just, I think about, right now and the future, and I think what is going to happen, because I have nieces and nephews, and they're not even 30 yet. And what is it going to be like when they get to be older? I don't even want to think about it, because the things that I think about, how things are expensive, hmm, what is it going to be like? Because going back in the day, I remember my mom and my dad used to complain all the time about the cost of gas, and that was like a dollar. I'm kind of grateful that my mom and dad are not alive to see these prices, because they wouldn't be able to handle it. They wouldn't be able to handle it. And another thing, that reason why I think about, the older people. How do people who live on a fixed income, who are only getting about let's see, they're only getting about 350 to $400 a month. And yes, maybe they may have their house paid off, and maybe the only bills that they have probably is to pay their light bill and the water bill and get some food. But still, how can people on a fixed income eat? How can people on a fixed income, get their certain things that they need? And, as people get older, they need more help. And that's why I always say, like, check on the elderly people, check on your, people who have special needs, handicapped. because they all need support. They all need help. I know if I myself, and I'm a working person, and I am struggling, I can't even think about somebody who is not working, or somebody who can't work, that they're dependent on the government to help them and support them. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to, do my best to survive. And I know that many of you are just trying your best to survive in this economy. And I've heard that so many people, they talk about, everything has gone up, and they blame every single thing on the pandemic. They blame everything on the pandemic. They blame the cost of groceries. They blame everything that on the pandemic. That, yes, I do understand that at the time it may have caused a shortage, but I don't believe it, because sometimes you'll see the costs go up, and then the next week, how can it go on sale the next week and be $5 less? And then the week after, it goes up $6. I do think that there's a lot of price gouging that happens by these businesses and franchises that just want people to not have anything. They're just greedy. I think it's just about greed. People are greedy. The greedy franchise owners, greedy people that only care about stuffing their pockets, and they don't care about people trying to survive. Yes, I understand that they have to make money off of, their businesses to pay for employees, but some things is just ridiculous, making things go up 5, 6, even sometimes $10 for items that is necessary, things that people have to have. Um, I have a young great nephew. He's not even 3 months old. And I just looked at a container of formula for him, and it was $25 for a container of formula. $25 for formula, about $19 for a pack of diapers, and $5 for wipes. So by the time you put that together, and you haven't even got food for yourself, I'm just talking about just a baby, just helping my nephew to support him with his newborn son. And that's just one thing. And it's like, that's one thing for somebody who just has a child. I can't understand how people are surviving that have multiple children. Um, and what doesn't make any sense to me is how they say a person who's working does not qualify, or they're overqualified, or they make too much to get things like food stamps. I don't get that, because by the time, yes, you may have a higher income, but it all is going to your rent. It's all going to paying your car payment or gas or something else. So when all of that is gone, you have nothing left for food, or you have nothing left for, even basic necessities like getting your items for personal care, laundry, detergent, soap, things like that. And all the agencies that are open and available, I hope you guys are using it. Our tax dollars go into using it. I used to be kind of feel some type of way to go and ask for some help with, paying a light bill, paying a water bill, but they do have these things. Look it up in your local area. You can look up what is it called? In my area, it's called the Urban League. They will pay one light bill a year, and they also have places like Catholic Charities, and they will pay your utilities like your water bill. And they have many different things for different whatever it is that you're in need of. They also have open food banks, and they have charities that give away clothing. When prices of things go up, so does your need for other things. Before it was like so much easier to be able to get the things that you wanted and need. Now you go longer, buying newer clothing or shoes or certain things that you actually need, but you can't afford to do it because you're so stressed out trying to pay all of these bills. I know I feel overwhelmed. I feel so stressed out. And especially working in healthcare, I see people come in, always having chest pain. I know that it's the stress. I know it's the stress that people are under trying to pay bills, trying to keep a roof over their head, trying to take care of their children, trying to do the best that they can, trying to survive. And it's not easy. It's not easy for me. And I know that it's not easy for so many of you. I want you guys to know that you're not alone. And just keep doing the best that you can. Try your best to do the best that you can and cut back where you can. Like I said, one thing that I definitely had to do, it was mandatory for me. I had to stop. I love getting what do you call it, the take out of hot chocolate. That's my favorite thing, but I can't afford it anymore. I used to love going through Starbucks, and I had to say Starbucks goodbye for a while and try my best to not even really save, because sometimes we're trying to save some money you know, for luxuries or a trip or a vacation, and we can't even afford to go on those vacations or trips. Hey, Tamika Davis, how are you doing? Good morning. Thank you so much for coming in. Happy Thursday to you. Appreciate your support. If you could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. How are you doing today? That's one thing. That's just one thing that has been happening to me. I had to start going through and seeing where I could start cutting certain expenses, like eating out was one, fast food, even going through to things like vending machines. Like I had to stop cutting out things that were convenient. Even things like when you go to the grocery store, instead of buying like the bagged salad that has already been washed and cut up for you, I definitely have to buy the ones that you have to cut up yourself now, instead of getting the pre-prepared ones. Even like, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was lazy. I used to buy the chopped up onions and peppers and different things, but now I can't afford to buy all of the things that have been prepared and pre-made. And even things like getting the rotisserie chickens and pre-cooked food like from the deli, I have to just buy it raw and start getting into cooking, getting into the kitchen, meal prepping, cutting costs wherever I can. Meal prepping is a big way that I've been saving a lot of money. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's not my favorite thing. I don't really like to do the meal prep thing. It's not my thing, but I have to do it because if I didn't do meal prep, I wouldn't eat when it's time to go to work. I would never eat, because the lunches, I don't know about everybody else's job, but at lunchtime, a lunch is a minimum of $7. And if you're working 5 days in a week, that's $35 a week just getting food. When, if you bought something like, I usually get like something like probably some chicken, some salad, and I make something like macaroni and cheese, and then add like a vegetable or something, and then I do the meal prep so that I can eat the same thing all week. And it's not the most fun. Definitely is not the most fun to eat the same meal every day all week, but at least I can say I'm grateful that I have some food to eat. And I know that's not the case, because I've seen people at work on the lunch break and they're just sitting there on their phone. They don't have anything to eat. They didn't carry anything. And I'm sure they're struggling. They have to be starving. So I know that everybody is feeling the pinch of this economy. They're feeling the pinch of the rising costs. And even with that rising cost, I'm seeing even in the workplace that they've cut back so many things, and not in a good way. They are expecting more from us on the job. So, like maybe before you only had 3 or 4 job responsibilities, now they're combining other jobs with your job, so you have to do that as well too. I think it's crazy what's going on. They're trying to get as much as they can from you for the least amount of money. And I know, at least on my job, I see where people will be coming in the door and they're already making more than you. And you have to ask yourself, like, what? How do you get more and you just started? And that's the only way that they can hire new people. They have to have the people who just started getting more money. And it makes me sometimes feel like I want to quit and go somewhere else. But I think every job got its own mess and got its own drama. But um, I'm going to put the link in here if anybody is interested in coming up and sharing some things that they're dealing with. How are things in your local area, everybody? Are you having the price surges? I even heard recently that even the Dollar Tree is not going to be the $1.25 anymore. I've heard that the Dollar Tree is going to be $1.75. I'm just waiting for that to happen. It's going to go up 50 cents. And that's just one thing. And one thing that I also had to learn to cut to with the price surges is I love having cable, but I can't afford to have cable anymore. Right now, all I do is the streaming service. I just pay for one streaming service right now, and that's it. I can't afford to. What how much was my cable bill? Like $58 for cable. I had to cut the cable and just get a streaming service, because sometimes you could get a streaming service for like $5, but then that starts going up, because I used to have 2 streaming services. I used to have Netflix and I used to have Hulu. And I had to cut Netflix because Netflix started to be $17 a month. And when I first started with Netflix, Netflix was $4.95. So Netflix has gone up almost $10 in the space of I don't know how many years. I have no idea, but I personally have to start cutting back expenses. And I always think about the ones that don't have support, the ones that actually live and take care of themselves and live on their own. You know, I think that that's so sad. So that's all I came on to say. I don't have a long podcast today, but I just wanted to encourage everybody, to all you, my chat family, and let you guys know that you're not alone in this price surging, expensive mortgages and rent, expensive cost, gas, taking care of your families. You're not alone, everybody. Keep your head up and, just do your best, see where you can cut back. And that's about it. And ask for help. Don't forget to reach out for all these agencies that you're actually paying for with your tax dollars. When you work, you were paying into that system, and it may be the time to start asking for that help and reaching out for that support that you need. So thanks so much for tuning into today's podcast. I will see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate everybody's support. Road to 800. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel, and I will definitely see you guys on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have not subscribed to the Marlene Saunders Show, please hit that subscribe, and I will see you on the next show tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.